Hi guys, we are going to be making this really cute bag. This is called the In Between bag by Parker on the Porch. This is what the front looks like. This is what the back looks like. Here's the inside. We're going to be making this bag together. So let's get started. You need one sheet of tearaway on your hoop. This is the 6x10 size. So go ahead and get your hoop with your stabilizer and meet me over at the machine. Okay guys, I'm on my machine. I'm running the Baby Lock Spirit. I have my 7x12 hoop. I have one sheet of tearaway. We are going to start with the front of the In Between bag by Parker on the Porch. You have two files here. You want to do the front first. This is what the front looks like. That one. And then this is the bag base. Okay, so we're going to run this one first. I'm going to load it. Okay, and the first step is to go ahead and stitch the placement directly onto your stabilizer. I will come back and show you what that looks like. Okay guys, this is what your placement looks like right here. Now we are going to place this center box right here, okay? And I am going to use this fabric right here. I already cut and prepped my fabric. This fabric, super cute. I got this at Stitch In Fabrics, so it's Stitch and then a capital N Fabrics. And you can look that up in Facebook groups and find them, but I bought this fabric from them. So I'm going to be using this. This is a woven fabric, and you just want a big enough piece that you're going to go ahead and place within this square. Then you're going to have two side pieces. I'm going to use these right here. This fabric right here is super cute too. I got this from Poppy Kettle Textiles. So again, Poppy Kettle Textiles, okay? So I'm basically gonna put these two on the side, and you can see right here how big you need the piece. This is gonna be like a flipper salad, so you're gonna go like this and then flip it over, okay? So you need two for that. So I have this and this and that and that. And then you're gonna need a full back. So I have a full back right here that I'm gonna do. And then I didn't cut my liner yet, so I'm gonna do that right now. But you basically need two liners right here. I'm just going to show you now. I'm going to use this, but you're going to need two liners, and then you're going to need a top piece. But you don't need your liners and your top piece until we get to the second hooping, so I'll just show you that then. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and take my center fabric right here and meet you back at the machine. I used woven for this, and this is cotton lycra. I used fusible fleece. You can see I prepped it already. I used fusible fleece on all of this. My three front pieces and the back of my bag piece. I used fusible fleece, and fusible fleece looks like this. It's just a little thicker. It makes your fabric a little thicker, and it has a rough side and a soft side. You take the wrong side of your fabric, place it down. You take the rough side of your interfacing and you place it on the wrong side. And then I just go ahead and iron it on, and it just makes your fabric thicker. So you can use fusible fleece like I did. You can use, this is medium weight fusible interfacing, or you could use lightweight. And then you could use this on woven fabric. And if you have cotton lycra and you don't want to use fusible fleece, then you're going to go ahead and use the SF101. That's this interfacing, and there's a rough side and a soft side. And you use it exactly the same way, okay? So you're gonna wanna go ahead and cut out your fabric pieces, and you're gonna wanna prep them all, and then I'm gonna meet you over at the machine, and I'm gonna show you how to do this first hooping. So I will see you over there, and we will get started. Okay guys, I'm back at my machine. I wanted to show you that I went ahead and wrote top up here because you wanna make sure your fabric's going the right way. And you just want your fabric to be centered in that center box, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. I have my fabric where I want it. Okay, and then you're going to go ahead and stitch step 2, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, this is what it looks like right here. I cut off the excess right here and right here. Leave the top and the bottom like that because you'll need some excess there, but these you can cut off. Now it's going to start on this side first. You can see your line right here that you want to line up to. So you go ahead and take your fabric that we prepped. You're going to do right sides down, okay, like that. And then you're going to line it up along this line right here. It's going to stitch along that line again. So you're just going to go ahead and get your fabric the way you want it. Line it up like that. When it stitches this line, Then we will flip it over like this, okay? So line it up how you want, and then go ahead and put it on your machine and go ahead and run step 3. Okay, it should look like this. It went ahead and stitched that line, cut off any excess that you need, and then go ahead and fold this over like this. Put it back on your machine. Now the next step is going to go ahead and do a top stitch, so make sure you have the right color thread in there that you want to see because it's going to show, and go ahead and stitch step 4. Okay guys, this is what it looks like. Where we are right here, went ahead and did that top stitch. It looks great. Now for this side, we're going to do the exact same thing. So when your fabric faced like this, go ahead and do right sides together, pull it over. Now I'm probably going to trim some of this because I'm going to make sure it catches this interfacing. So you're going to have the inner facing like right about there. It's going to stitch one line down here, and then you're going to go ahead and cut the excess, and then we'll flip it over like this. Okay, so go ahead and get your fabric ready. Get it on your machine. Go ahead and stitch step 5. Okay, went ahead and stitched that together. Now you're going to go ahead and flip your fabric like we did on the other side, like this. And then make sure you have your right thread in there. I'm going to go ahead and stitch step 6, and it's going to do that top stitch. I'll come back and show you. Okay, this is what we look like so far. The very last stitch step on this hooping is going to go ahead and stitch across here a placement so we know where to place it on our other fabric. This fabric gets a little thicker right here because it's folded over and I have fusible fleece. Make sure your foot is up high enough that it's not going to catch this weird, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and stitch step 7, and I'll come back and show you. Okay guys, this is what your project should look like right here. We are done with the first hooping. It's really super easy and straightforward, so we are good to go. You can take this off, and since we use tearaway, you can take all this tearaway off, okay? And then you don't have to hear it in your bag. Now you can set this aside. We're going to use it in our next hooping, but we're good to go for right now. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to use cutaway. Whatever stabilizer you use on this next hooping stays inside your bag. So use what you want to use. I'm going to use cutaway because it doesn't have a sound like tearaway does inside the bag. So use what you want. This is cutaway. Okay, so I'm going to use this, and I will meet you back over at the machine. Okay guys, I'm back on my machine. I have my hoop on my machine. I have one sheet of cutaway on my machine, and then we're going to get out of here. We're done with this one. Okay. Then we need to go get the other one. That's this one right here. This one is the front, bag front. This one is the bag base. So you want to load this embroidery. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and stitch our first step directly onto our stabilizer. I will come back and show you what it looks like. Okay guys, this is what your placement looks like. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and place the zipper. We're going to place it between these lines right here. So this is a number 3 zipper bag. So here's my zipper I'm going to use right here. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and place it between these two placements. You can see the top and the bottom. And then you're going to go ahead and just tape both sides down when you have it where you want it. So I'm going to show you close up. You can see the top and the bottom there, right between there. Okay. Go ahead and tape it, and then the next step is going to go ahead and stitch right here. It's going to jump your zipper teeth and stitch above, tacking your zipper to your stabilizer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll come back and show you. Okay guys, this is what it looks like right here. Your zipper is tacked down to your bag. Now we're going to do a few things. I'm going to measure the rest of our fabric now, and then I'm going to show you how to place the front, bottom, and liner first, because that's what comes next. So you need 2 liners that are on the inside of your bag on the bottom. Okay, so this is one, and then this is another. I always just measure the whole bag because the back liner has to be, well, it has to be the whole back bag, but the front only has to be from here to here. So you can measure one shorter if you're trying to conserve fabric. It's technically, I don't need this much. You're going to go ahead and flip this like this as your liner. So you need a liner that's going right here. You need a liner that goes over the full back. So I just measure the whole fold back because I would rather save time than save the little piece of fabric. So there's my 2 right there, okay? Then you're gonna need a liner that goes up here on this top part, and that's gonna flip as well. So you just need a little piece that goes up there. This will be my liner as well. And then you need a front fabric, whatever you're gonna use. This is gonna be the bottom of your bag. Whatever you wanna use that's gonna show at the top, you need a piece of that fabric. I'm using this black still. My liner fabric's gonna be up here. So I got a piece that's big enough to flip and be right there, okay? So you need that top fabric, you need the liner of that top fabric, and you need the full for the back liner, and you need the bottom liner, okay? So you need 4 more pieces of fabric, which I have right here, okay? Once you have all that measured, I just iron it. This is all woven fabric, and I just iron it. I don't put any interfacing or anything on it, okay? So what we're gonna do first is go ahead and flip our hoop upside down. We're gonna go ahead and take our liner. So let me show you that mine's not directional. If yours was directional, let me get something directional, okay? If this is what I was putting in here, you would do the right sides facing you, and you would go ahead and flip up like this. And then you want it to be just below this bottom stitch line right here, like this. Sorry, this is gonna confuse you because I have 2, it's folded. It'd be like this, okay? And then you would just pull it down right there. So when it stitches the next line, it can pull down like this, and then your fabric will be facing the correct way, okay? I don't have directional fabric, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing. You're gonna do right sides against your stabilizer. Go ahead and pull it past this bottom line, and then go ahead and tape. Let me find my tape. I have so much fabric on my desk. I'm not very good at putting my stuff away after each project until it stacks so high that I can't function. Okay, there we go. There we go. So that's how you're going to put your liner for that bottom front. Okay, so then you're just going to let that hang. And you're going to just flip this over. Now you're going to go ahead and take this first thing that we went ahead and made. I'm going to cut across here a little bit so it's all even and easier to do. Okay, like right about here. I'm just getting off this excess fabric so it's easier for me to place it and line it up. Okay, so you have these stitch lines up here that show you how to place. There's a center line right here, and then a line that goes all the way across. You're gonna take that center line that's going up, and you are gonna center that with this line right here that's going down. So you're gonna have the right side's facing you like this. You're gonna flip it up like that. I'm gonna pull it up. Now you're gonna do the exact same thing. You can see the line right here too, but you can go ahead and pull it down. You can see the line right there. I'm going to make sure that line is touching this line, and I'm going to make sure the line that goes this direction is right below the line that is on your zipper tape. So there's a line right here on your zipper tape that tacked your zipper down. I'm going to make sure this line is right on this side of that line because you don't want it to show, okay? So right there, I'm going to pull it right over like that, okay? Right there. Right there. Just going to make sure this line is past that line all the way across, and then I'm just going to tape it so it doesn't move when I walk over to my machine. Right there. Okay. If you have that all lined up like that, then you are good to go. The next step, we're going to take this over the machine. We're going to make sure that your liner stays up and out of the way. You don't want it to fold over or anything. You want to keep that up and out of the way when it's on your machine. The next step is going to go ahead and stitch along that zipper where that zipper tack is. It's going to stitch. You want it to stitch right above this line right here. So when you flip it over, you don't see this line that's already there, okay? So we should be all set and ready to go. I'll bring you over to my machine and show you what we do. Okay, I'm on my machine. I have my liner up. It's up here. It's not folded under. It's just hanging over here. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and stitch step 3. It's gonna stitch right above this line. You want it to stitch on this side over here, right above this line, okay? All the way across. I'll come back and show you. Okay, it went in stitch. So this was the first stitch that was already on your fabric. See right there, the line? It's stitched right above it. right there. So now you won't see this line on your bag, your fabric, and it went all the way across, tacking this down. Now you want to go ahead and cut this excess fabric off. Not too close that it pulls out, but enough that it's not going to stay bulky in your bag. And then you're going to fold your bag down like that. And we're going to go back on the machine and we're going to go ahead and stitch step 4. Okay, I went ahead and trimmed it. I folded my fabric over. My liner is still up. Sorry, that's my iron. Now we're going to go ahead and stitch step 4, which is a top stitch along this top. You're just going to make sure that your fabric's flat and smooth as it stitches across that top, okay? Okay, there's that top stitch right there. It went ahead and top stitched all the way across. Now, if I have cotton lycra and woven, the cotton lycra is kind of bulky when you flip it over. So make sure your foot's high enough to get past these little bumps right here, okay? So the next step, step 5, it's going to go ahead and tack this whole front down. So I'm going to let it do that. I will come back and show you. Okay, guys, this is what it looks like right now. Super cute, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and flip the hoop over now. We're going to go ahead and pull down our liner like this right here. And we're going to go ahead and make sure it's smooth and how you want it. And then go ahead and tape. I'm going to cut a little bit of this because mine's too long. But make sure you have enough to get past this. I'm going to cut it to like right here so I can tape it really well. You're going to tape it really good. Put it back onto your machine, and then you're going to go ahead and run step 6, which is going to go ahead and do that same tack down, tacking your liner down. Okay, so I'm going to trim it, tape it, run step 6, and I'll come back and show you. Okay, this is what it looks like trimmed and taped. Make sure you tape it good. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on our machine. The other thing I look at is I always look underneath my machine like this. So if you go like this, whenever you have something underneath and you're about to stitch it, I make sure that it didn't move when I put it on my machine. Because if that liner flips up, you're going to have to pull it out and do it again. So go ahead and run step 6. Okay, guys, this is what we look like right here. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do this top part. I'm going to go ahead and flip it so we can do the liner. Okay. That's not the liner. I'm going to take this, and you're basically, let me get this other fabric in case you need directional. Okay, if your liner's directional, you're going to go have your fabric towards you. You're going to go ahead and flip it towards you, right side's towards you. Flip it like this, pull it up. You're going to pull it right above that line. It's going to go ahead and stitch, and then you'll go like that, and it will be facing the correct way. Okay, so I'm going to do that with regular fabric. So here's my black. Flip it this way. You want it just to go above that one right there. Okay? And go ahead and tape it on either side. Like that. Okay? And go ahead and let's place our front. That's just going to stay like that. Okay, I'm using the same black. If you are using directional fabric, you're going to have it facing you correct way. Okay? And then you're going to flip it towards you. You're going to put it right, the zipper line right here, that's where it's going to stitch, right about there. You're going to put it right above there. Okay, it's going to go ahead and stitch right there, and then when you flip it, it's going to look like that. Sorry, I'm trying to decide if I should do this fabric. I think I'm still going to do the black. Yeah, I'm still going to do the black. Okay, so that's how you do directional. This is mine. I'm going to flip it this way. Oh, okay, hold on. This is the front of the bag. I actually want to interface this top part right here. Anything that's on the outside of your bag, I like to have interfaced. So I'm going to go ahead and interface this one right here. That's going to go on this top spot. I'm just going to go ahead and put some fusible fleece on it real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and place this the same way. Once I have it interfaced, I'm going to put it just like that. I'm going to tape both sides, and then I'm going to machine. We're going to run the next step, which is going to do one line, and then we can flip both our liner and our top, okay? Okay, I'm on my machine. This is what it looks like. I looked underneath my hoop to make sure that that liner was still where it needed to be as well. I'm going to go ahead and stitch step 7. It's going to do that one line. Okay, guys, this is what it looks like right here. If you need to trim it, go ahead and trim it. Now you're going to go ahead and push your top up, leave your liner where it is. Okay, we're going to have a top stitch here, so we're going to go ahead and make sure And turn it this way, make sure that this is smooth and up, and then you can go ahead and stitch the next step, which is going to be a top stitch. So if you want a different color, go ahead and put a different color on, but go ahead and do that. This is step 8. Okay guys, that's what the top stitch looks like right there. So that's all done. So you're going to take your hoop off your machine, flip it over. Now you're going to go ahead and take your liner, you're going to take this tape off, you're going to go ahead and fold it up like that, make it smooth and how you want it. Go ahead and tape it all down. Then we're going to put it back on our machine, and the next step is going to go ahead and stitch this down right here. It's going to stitch this top down, and it's also going to stitch your liner down. So I'm going to go ahead and get that taped, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay guys, that's what it looks like taped. I'm going to go ahead and gently put it onto my machine like that. I'm going to look under just to make sure that it didn't move at all and it's all still where it needs to be. And then I'm just going to make sure that this is flat, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch step 9. I'll come back. Okay guys, this is what the top of your bag should look like right here. This is what the underneath should look like right there, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and add the back of our bag to this. So you're going to want to open your zipper, get it far enough over that you can turn through this hole, but not so far over that you can see the stitch lines here, not so far over that the foot of your machine will hit your hardware as it's going around. Okay, so this is probably good. Now, if you want to add anything that goes to your bag, you need to add it now. So any hardware, if you want this to be a purse, you'd go ahead and put your hardware like this, like that. And then you would do another one over here like this, and then that could be your connectors for your purse straps. If you just want a little ring on the side, you would do this. Remember, your hardware goes on the inside of your stitch, your placement lines, all the way around these placement lines. You can set this anywhere along your placement lines, but your hardware has to go on the inside, okay? I'm not going to add the hardware. I was just showing you. I'm going to just do this little fold over elastic thing. You're going to have the wrong sides together like this, and then you're going to go ahead and make sure the loop is on the inside. Okay, I'm going to put this like right here. I'm going to put it along the zipper. You can put it anywhere along your placement lines, because it's going to stitch around that several times, tacking it into your bag. Okay, I'm going to just place it right there. Okay, just a pop of color. Okay, now you're going to take the back of your bag. So this is the back of my bag right here. Make sure your fabric's big enough to go around all your placements. Okay, and then if you have the right sides up facing you, the way you're going to flip this is like this, sideways. You want it like that, and that will be the correct way. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I actually want to make sure this Sally and Jack show. Okay, I'm gonna probably put it like right there. Okay, now I'm gonna go back over the machine. I'm gonna stitch next step, and it's gonna stitch all the way around here several times. Make sure your zipper's open. Okay, this is what it looks like here. It went ahead and tacked all the way around. Now you're gonna flip your hoop. We're on our last step. You're gonna take your liner and you're gonna place it like this. Okay, so if you had directional fabric, let me get, sorry, my dogs are gonna bark. If you had directional fabric like this, you want the right sides towards you, you would go ahead and do it like this. That's how you want to place it if you have liner that's directional. Mine's not directional, so I'm just going to do it this way. Okay, now you're going to tape it down. And you're going to go run your last step. It's going to do exactly what it just did, but it's going to leave an opening right here that we can flip through. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go to the machine. I'm going to go ahead and run the last step. I'll come back and show you. Okay, guys, this is what the top looks like. This is what the underneath looks like, okay? I'm going to go ahead and take this off of my hoop. We are done stitching. Okay, now I go ahead and cut from this side. You can't see it as well. You can see more on this side, but I want to see where the hole is, okay? So I just go ahead and cut in an angle up to the stitch line without cutting the stitches. And then I just cut around my bag. And then I cut up to where this stitches stop and I turn the other direction. Okay, get this out of my way. Fold it over, okay. Then I cut across here. Okay, now you need some of your liner. So the pieces of fabric that are on either side of your hole are your liner. You need these because you have to close this hole, but you don't need this other excess. So I go ahead and fold this up like this. I fold this down so I can hold it, and I flip it this way so I can see the stitch lines. Now when you cut this, you want to cut straight. Don't cut at an angle because you'll end up cutting into your fabric down here, okay? So I just go ahead and cut straight across like that, and then your liner's still there, okay, but everything else is gone. Okay, so now you can flip through your hole. Just go ahead and flip gently so you don't tear your opening. I just put my fingers in here and push through like that. Okay, now go ahead and use your turning tool. I just use this tool that's a turning system for sewing. It's kind of like a chopstick. I'm just getting my corners out, but I'm not pushing too hard because I don't want to go through the fabric. Okay, now what you do is you're going to go ahead and close this hole so you have this fabric down here. You can close this a couple ways. People fold it and sew it. People ladder stitch. People use glue. Here's the glue that I use when I use glue. This is a clear glue and it dries really fast. You can use this press tape, which I'm going to use. I'm trying to find the, oops, here it is. I'm trying to find the packaging for you. Peel and stick fabric fuse. That's what I'm going to use. Okay, so I go ahead and I place it over these stitch lines right here. I just take it like this. One side's sticky, the other side has a covering on it. So then I just go ahead and rub it really good because it's a press tape, so it goes on with pressure. And then I go ahead and flip this in like that. Get it how you want, and then you flip this side in, you kind of just sandwich it. I just get it lined up how I think I want it, like that. Okay, then you're gonna take this coating off. The sticky side should stay on that side of your fabric. You peel it back. I only peel a little bit at a time, and then I do this. If you pulled that whole thing off and then tried to stick it, it's way too sticky. It's really a pain if it's too much. So I just fold it back every couple inches and then I press it to close this bag. When you get down to the end, you pull it and usually it pops out. I take this and I stick it back in. And then I go ahead and get it closed. And then I just make sure it's all done. Okay, and you can see it's closed. There's no open hole. It looks straight, looks nice. Okay, now one thing I've been doing, and I forget because I'm so used to taking this out at the end. This is cutaway, so it won't just open and tear away. And I'm so used to cutting it at the end, like right now, so I'm going to show you how to do that. But if you do this step while it's still on the hoop right after you tack your zipper down, once you tack your zipper down, if you flip your hoop over and you just cut this little spot out, it is easier at that step. And I always forget to do it because I'm so programmed to doing it right now. But, so I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So basically, I just take little snip scissors. Now you don't want to cut your zipper, you're just trying to get your cutaway up. And once it's started, I'll show you, you can see the zipper under there. Okay, so then you're just going to make sure you don't cut your fabric and you don't want to cut your zipper through your zipper, and you just want to kind of pull this along here. Make sure I'm not covering it. A lot of times I just slide it. If your scissors are sharp enough, it will just slide. Okay, and then I come over here and cut down. And you just do it on this other side. Okay. And then you cut across here. That's how you get it out. So the cutaway is out and you opened your zipper so you have a hole. If you didn't open your zipper, this hole wouldn't be there. Okay, so we got our cutaway off. We got our hole closed. So now you're just gonna go ahead and flip it again. Okay, now I'm just gonna use this to get my corners out and clean. Okay. If you have any little stray strings, you can cut them. Sorry, my dog's barking. Okay, now I'm just gonna push it down. You can iron it, get it all nice. Okay, here you go. Here's the front of the bag. This is the bag called the In Between bag by Parker and the Porch. This looks like, okay. The back looks like this. Okay, you open your zipper. You are fully lined, no exposed seams. Super cute. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. You can go and post them in the Parker on the Porch Facebook group, and or you can post them here as well, and I will answer them as soon as I see them. And go ahead and give this tutorial a thumbs up if it helped you and you liked it. It helps me make these. And go ahead and follow or subscribe, and I will see you in the next tutorial. If you go ahead and click the little bell, it will notify you when I upload a new tutorial. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Can't wait to see your bags.